Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and today something has happened that I absolutely cannot explain, and it's absolutely incredible. This is pure insanity. I've never seen anything like this. I seriously have never seen anything like this. And I swear I'm not just saying that for the sake of it. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But the number of new XRP accounts being created today, and it's been ramping up actually over the last few days in particular, it's the highest number of new accounts that's been created since the 2017 XRP rally began that took it to almost $4. I don't know why this is happening. I seriously don't. And so I have to be missing something. And I don't pretend to know everything, so that's okay. If any of you know, I'm going to share with you what I know to this point, but if any of you know what caused this, please scream it in the comment section below. I need to hear from you. We can work as a community to get to the bottom of this. Because here's the thing, it has nothing to do with price action. Every other time you've seen numbers like this shoot up, it's been because there's been an absolute insane rally that's happening for XRP price at the moment, and that's not happening. I just don't get what's going on here. So I want to cover that, and also I've got a couple articles that I want to touch on because it's interesting, especially in light of what's happening today with Bitcoin breaking through its all-time high. You'll love to see it, right? I do want to talk a little bit about the price expectations from a couple well-known individuals, one of them being Nicholas Merton, very popular chart analyst who runs one of the bigger cryptocurrency YouTube channels out there, which is Data Dash. And then there's also Mark Yusko, who is the CEO of Morgan Creek Digital, which is the firm that he started up with Bitcoin maximalist Anthony Pompliano, and they're the crew that actually got the first public pensions on the entire planet to invest into Bitcoin, and that was news. I think it was February of 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So they were the first ones to pull that off, which is pretty incredible, really, because it's still early days as far as I'm concerned. But before going any further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say, all right? I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos about crypto-related stories, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So at the time I'm recording this, XRP is at $1.15, which is fantastic. Happy to see it. Here's the 24-hour chart, but you can see it's nothing wild. 24-hour low of $1.11, 24-hour high of $1.17. Nothing crazy. This is pretty normal stuff. It's just kind of ranging. It has been for a bit. This is today has been Bitcoin's time to shine, basically. So not surprising in the least, which is why this is supremely peculiar. Look on your screen if you can right now. The chart in the middle of your screen is the number of new XRP accounts activated over the course of the last year, and this is per day. And so when you've seen these spikes up here, which I'll run through, when you've seen these, all of them indicate notable price action, right? That's what all of these indicate. Except for the first time in the history of XRP, what has happened today. It's never happened in the entire history, and XRP's been around damn near a decade at this point. It's been traded since on open markets since 2013. So 8 years, whatever, over 8 years. This is insane. So look back here. If you go back to, for instance, I'm just going to pick a few days where it looks like the top or roughly the top. This is November 24th, 2020. XRP was rallying here. And in that day, there were 8,068 accounts created, right? And then you can jump up to January 7th also, 9,100 accounts created. Look here, February 1st of this year, 12,632. So you might remember that. That's when there was that pump and dump group that was trying to push the price of XRP up. And I think it just, if memory serves, and I could be mistaken, but I think XRP price ran before that happened. So it was like a buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing, if memory serves anyway. But there you go. Regardless, there was actual price action happening there. February 1st this year, 12,632 accounts created. And here, there are a bunch of big days in April. This one's, the date I pulled up here is April 20th. On that day, 12,419 new XRP accounts created, right? And that's when XRP ran up to about $2. So not surprising to see that, 12,419. And then obviously May comes around and then the market starts to cool off. May 19th, the market started tanking. Even on that day, though, there's still 5,267 new XRP accounts, but you can see they slid down as XRP and crypto prices kind of plummeted a bit and were down and then ranging for quite a bit. This is a consolidation period. You can see here, I just picked a random date, August 6th this year, only 1,996 new accounts created. And so what the hell has been going on? Yeah, so you saw a bit of a jump as XRP, because you remember it bottomed at about 52 cents not too long ago. And so yeah, you saw it jump up a bit. Like here's September 30th, 6,686 new accounts created. So yeah, a little bit of a jump. But today and over the last few days, XRP has not jumped in price at all. It's just been range bound. It's been at about the same price for several days. So what in the ever-loving hell happened here? Look at this. This is today, October 20th, 2021. Number of new accounts created, 14,281. And so I'll tell you this: if Flare networks were live and the Spark token was out in the wild, I'd be like, okay, that would be the first thing I'd go to. I'd be like, okay, is something happening there that is resulting in people opening XRP accounts? Is there something there? And so I know that Songbird's live. Is something happening with that just isn't in the news that I just haven't seen? Is something happening there that is actually resulting in all of these accounts being created? Because I don't get it. Like, this has to be retail. Because if it was something on an institutional level, you don't need to create, and you wouldn't create, thousands of accounts in a single day. Because look, this is way higher. This isn't even close to what we have been seeing for most of the last couple weeks. Not even close. It's like even on the higher days, like it's like 3 to 4 times higher account creation. So normally when you see this, I'm telling you, what drives this in every other instance for the entire history of XRP, it's price appreciation. That's it. In fact, to point this out and just kind of prove my point even further, now here's the same chart but with a different time range. Instead of showing just 1 year, this chart in the middle of your screen here goes back 4 years. So it goes back to October 21st, 2017. So you can see where I'm circling right now. This is the data that I just covered over the last 12 months. But look back here. Where I'm circling now to the left of this chart, this was XRP's biggest run in history when it went from 20-something cents to almost $4. And there are some big days. Like, these were record days. We still haven't seen this yet. I think we'll blaze past it this market cycle. But look, December 15th. 20,158 new accounts created. Whew. And that's with way fewer people in crypto back then compared to today. So, and here you go, December 29th. 21,402 new accounts created. So again, all of these runs, it's when XRP's been moving. And you can see like little blips up where it's kind of more impressive from time to time. But like this is, I'm telling you, today, this is the biggest account creation since last bull run, which started in 2017 for XRP. So I'm assuming I'm missing something. Again, I don't pretend to know everything, so let's just work as a community. If any of you know, please scream it in the comment section. I'll be checking because I would love to know. I have to be missing something. And if I'm actually not, what the hell kind of phenomena is this? This is absolutely crazy. Look at how many people are piling in with the price not changing, though. What do you think's ultimately going to happen? Like, I'm telling you, it's just like when you see longer consolidation and more money's piling in, but it's not really moving the price. At some point, when this thing goes, like it really goes, that's true not specifically just of XRP, but just of trading in general. It's true in the stock market. It's true in the crypto asset class. The longer the consolidation, the bigger the blast off when it finally goes. People just start FOMOing in. This is just how humans behave. So yeah, that was about. I tell you, when I checked this, I started looking at this actually last night, and like my jaw dropped. I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" I was like, I have to be reading this wrong. I was like saying it to myself. I was like, I have to be looking at this wrong, but I wasn't. And so yesterday, when I was looking at it, you can see here for yesterday, October 19th, 12,712 accounts. And then I thought, okay, well, that's got to be an outlier. It's just going to go back down the next day, probably, right? And then the next day, which is now today, even bigger with 14,281. Crazy stuff here. And by the way, look at the number of XRP accounts now. This is from the XRP Rich List Ledger.exposed. Total number of XRP accounts, 3,539,447. Absolutely insane. For those of you who haven't heard me say it before, it's worth repeating here since we're talking about this. When XRP was about to start its bull run in December 2017, there were only a little shy of 700,000 accounts in existence, which took years and years and years to grow to that point. And now we're at over 3.5 million. It's going to be absolute insanity when the blow off top happens for the crypto asset class this market cycle. And when that money trickles in to XRP, it may start as a little trickle, but it's quickly going to become a torrent. And it'll explode. people will FOMO in and faces will melt. That is exactly what will happen here. So how can we expect this to go? Well, what I keep seeing from analysts that I follow is very high expectations for Bitcoin price. Very high. So I don't pretend to know for sure what's going to happen, but I'm starting to feel more swayed. And it's easier to feel more swayed. Like the higher Bitcoin goes and the more we see it actually move, especially seeing the all-time high today, it's easier to think, okay, well, maybe this really is going to keep going that direction, which is exciting because the higher Bitcoin goes, the more money's going to flow into XRP ultimately. So here's a headline from the Daily Hodl. Here's a realistic price prediction for Bitcoin this cycle, according to crypto analyst Nicholas Merton. Now, although this article is from today, they're covering material from him before the all-time high happened, so we have a little bit of a benefit of more knowledge, benefit of hindsight. But it doesn't matter because he's just talking about, for by and large anyway, like where's Bitcoin going this market cycle. And so take a look at this. In a new strategy session, Merton tells his 474,000 YouTube subscribers that Bitcoin is, quote, pretty much inevitably, end quote, set to cross $65,000, which, of course, happened. And he said that just the other day. Of course, and it did happen. And then he said the following: I think at this point, everyone's pretty confident that we're no longer in a supposed bear market. Yeah, no kidding. Well, I've been saying that the whole time over the last 5 months now, however low price got, is like, no, we haven't had the blow off top. We are not in a bear market. Chill, friends. Piece continues. The analyst says a conservative estimate based on the history of Bitcoin's market cycles predicts Bitcoin reaching a $4 trillion market cap by November 2022. I'll just pause there to state, I'm not optimistic that that this market cycle is going to last into November of next year. I wouldn't hate that. I would not mind that in the least. I am not optimistic for that based on what I've seen, especially from all sorts of different analysts. Some people think it could go later in the year. I'm like, I'd love it. I'm not necessarily convinced of it, but anyway. Article continues. Bitcoin's current market cap is more than 1.2 trillion, and a $4 trillion market cap would bring Bitcoin's price point to around $200,000. And so again, this is the majority opinion, and like I say, majority opinion. Yeah, the analysts they all disagree on to what that, as far as what that means, whether it's 150, 200, 250,000, but those are the types of ranges that I keep seeing. That seems to be the majority opinion from all of the respected analysts in crypto, including the ones that I follow. I'm just noting that. It is what it is. It'll be right. It'll be wrong. I don't know for sure. But, again, like I said, the higher we see Bitcoin go, the more persuasive these arguments become for obvious reasons. And I want to see that because there will be that much more money flowing into XRP and altcoins. And then there was this. This is an article from yesterday covering material from, I think it was this past Friday. But here's the headline. Morgan Creek. Bitcoin can see some profit booking in short term, but $250,000 coming in 5 years. And so let's say this. If this market cycle, if Bitcoin doesn't make it to this $250,000 mark that a lot of analysts think is going to come, it doesn't seem like a virtual certainty that if we're going to continue to see these 4-year cycles, which is also an if, by the way. I can talk more about that in a separate video. Things could be changing though. But if that's the case, wouldn't you think that we would see it by the next market cycle, in which case what he's saying here would be accurate? I'm just wondering if he's putting too long of a timeline and it's actually going to happen much sooner than people think. Because again, even if it sounds impossible to you right now, I can understand why. But things happen so quickly in crypto that it sounds impossible until it just happens. And they're like, oh yeah, well, there you go. And then it just seems obvious in hindsight. Yes, of course. Anyway, Mark Yusko, Chief Executive Officer at Morgan Creek Capital Management, says that we can possibly see some profit booking in the short term. Yusko told during an interview with CNBC's Trading Nation last Friday. The Morgan Creek Capital CEO said the following. This is a quote. There are a lot of people that think we could hit $100,000 by the end of the year. The stock-to-flow model says we should. I also wouldn't be surprised if of a little consolidation. Look, we're up 40% this month, which is only 15 days old. Yeah, so we haven't seen that consolidation at some point, but that's a reasonable thing to say. We will see consolidation, and in fact, Bitcoin for the second half of this day has been trending down a little bit. Nothing disastrous, so I don't know if we're going to burst up or not. I don't pretend to know, but suffice it to say, at some point, yes, there will be consolidation, even in a bull mania phase. That will happen. I mean, think about XRP from 20-something cents to almost $4, my friends. That happened over a 2.5-week period, and it was not a straight up line. There were lots of scary dips in between in that 2.5-week period. Didn't mean things were going to fall apart, but it was definitely a bubble inflating to the max, that's for sure. And then the piece continues. I think it was down here I wanted to cover. Yeah, down here. Bitcoin to touch $250,000 in 5 years. Yusko added that any correction hereon shall be temporary. He is confident enough that Bitcoin will not take any more than 5 years to touch the $250,000 levels. The Morgan Creek CEO hinges on his bullish predictions on rising adoption and network growth, and he added the following. This is a quote. This is a network, and networks grow in an exponential way. This is the fastest network in history to $1 trillion of value. Right on the heels of FANGs that took, 15 to 20 years, depending on which one you're looking at. So he's talking about, when he says FANGs, that stands for Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. And so Bitcoin beat them, which is awesome. Like, I'm for it. Like, I'm a pro Bitcoin guy. I'm skeptical to a certain degree. Doesn't mean I think Bitcoin's going away. I don't want it to go away. But it's reasonable to have critiques about Bitcoin for sure. But it's incredible what Bitcoin has done. I'm very thankful for Bitcoin. But yeah, so as far as the FANG stocks, it's like not even close to what has happened. So you think, okay, if this is the way that things are going and it's global and there's this much money pouring in and people are absolutely nuts for this, like, what is it going to look another 5 years out? Even if we endure a bear market in the midterm, which that's as close to 100% certainty as possible, right? Like, we're not just going to be in a bull market for the next 5 years. Like, that's just not how this works. There's almost a 0% chance of that. Unless you think there's not going to be a blow-off top. If there's not a blow-off top, then it'll just be like, okay, things just plod along for 5 years. Okay, maybe. But if you think there's going to be a blow-off top, there's going to be a huge correction too. There will be a bear market if there's a blow-off top. And I want the blow-off top. I'm down with that. First of all, because then we'll have much greater price appreciation than we otherwise would. And then number two, that means we can accumulate once we enter bear market. We can buy all this stuff on the cheap when people are scared out of their ever-loving minds, and we're betting against each other. They think it makes sense to sell. I'm betting that it makes sense to buy. And I will be happy to bet against them because they're going to be emotionally making decisions, and I won't. I will be cool, calm, and collected, buying up all their fear. That's exactly what I'll be doing here. All good things in time, my friend. So again, I'll wrap up here, but please let me know if you know anything. I've got to be missing something, right? If you know why there's this many new account creations on the XRP ledger, please tell me. I couldn't find anything. I seriously could not find a damn thing. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.